Hello everybody, long time no see. I realize it's been a while since I've done a video, but it's the end of the semester and I have not had a chance to read anything, which is why I am, as you can see by the title, doing a tag video. And even now, there's probably like 8 or 9 other things that I should be doing, but I am making this video instead. Now, just to start off, I'm filming again in front of my window, and I promise that I'm not heading into a holy light or anything. I realize that it's shining, you're literally sitting on my windowsill and the light is shining straight through, so that's probably why I look like an absolute vampire right now. So this is going to be the ultimate book tag that was originally filmed by Chapter Chicks, but apparently originally compiled by Megan at Goodreads. Okay, so to start this off, question 1, do you get sick while reading in the car? But not really. I mean, I get headaches sometimes, but I don't really go on, long road trips or anything of the sort, and if I do, I'm usually the one driving it and not in the passenger seat, so it would not be a good situation for me to be driving and reading at the same time, but not really, like I said, just like headaches, not, I don't get nauseous or anything. Question 2, which author's writing style is completely unique to you and why? Probably, I don't have any of his books here. But Gregory Maguire, you probably know him as writing Wicked, or, the Wicked series. I've read most of his books, and he has a really unique writing style. It's almost, it's complicated almost, and I just really like the way that he, forms not only, paragraphs and just novels as a whole, just, sentences by themselves. It's really fascinating, his wordplay and just syntax in general. Number 3, Harry Potter or the Twilight Saga. I think most people my age attribute Harry Potter to, their childhood and just beginning reading, and that's the series that kind of got them into reading. But for me, that was actually the Twilight Saga. It's kind of weird. I read Twilight right before the first movie came out, so it wasn't ridiculously popular, but I read that series because my friend was like, oh my god, it is the best thing ever, you need to read it. So I was like, okay. And I really did enjoy it. I probably wouldn't enjoy it now if I went back and reread it, because I've read so much, not just YA, but just books in general since then. And I did not finish the Harry Potter series until the night before. I finished Deathly Hallows the night before part 1 of the Deathly Hallows came out, and I started it the summer before that. So I was really late on the bandwagon coming to Harry Potter, but ultimately I mean, just storyline, well, basically just overall, Harry Potter is a much more better written series, just in general. 4, do you carry a book bag? If so, what is in it? I have a backpack. I don't, carry books in it or anything. Is this a messenger bag? I don't know what these are called. Basically, just, folders are in it because I'm unfortunately a student. Look at this ultra fascinating stuff. Inside look into my life. There are 5 folders in a notebook here. 5, do you smell your books? That's kind of a weird question. I mean, if the smell of the glue or whatever, I've had some books that I associate with certain smells just because the smell of the binding is so intense that you can't help but it wafts towards you as you're reading. But besides that, I don't sit around and like smell my bookshelf. I know a lot of people do that. Sorry, I'm staring at someone walking past my window. That's not creepy at all. 6. Books with or without little illustrations. The only books that I could think of reading with little illustrations are books that have them at like the beginning of chapters or something. I haven't really read anything that has little illustrations like throughout the like text of it. But I wouldn't mind it. But I mean, just for the sake of this question, I guess books without, because I haven't really read anything with illustrations. What book did you love while reading but discovered later it wasn't quality writing? That is probably going to have to go to either the Inheritance Cycle or the Twilight Saga. I really loved Aragon when I was reading it, and Eldest was okay, and then once I got to Brisingar, it was like, okay, this story's going kind of nowhere. And I have the 4th book in the series, but I have not read it yet. I still really like that series. It's just not one of my favorites. And then with the Twilight Saga, I think we all, well, just like everyone who read it when it was first becoming popular, soon realized that, you know, it isn't the greatest piece of writing, but you're lying if you say you did not love it the first time around, because we all did. Do you have any funny stories involving books from your childhood? Not really. In the 3rd and 4th grade, we had to write books, and we got them like published through this publishing company. It wasn't a very professional thing, but we had to like write and illustrate our own books, and I don't have any of them in my apartment right now, but I think they're at my grandma's house actually. I will film a video reading through those because they're truly horrible. I think they both involve haunted houses, and they're just really bad. Number 9, what is the thinnest book on your shelf? And according to what I'm seeing right now, it is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I believe. Yeah. And then number 10 is what is the thickest book, and that is This Monster, A Storm of Swords by George R. R. Martin. I think I got carpal tunnel just grabbing it off the shelf. Number 11 is, do you write as well as read, and do you see yourself in the future as being an author? I think I can write really well, but I don't really have the imagination to make anything happen. So, I mean, I would really like to one day write something substantial like a novel, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. When did you get into reading? It was right after I read the His Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman, and I read that the summer after my freshman year of high school, so that was about, oh god, that was like 6-7 years ago. Yeah, about 7 years ago. That's when I like really got into reading, and then I read the Twilight Saga and then the Inheritance Cycle, and I really got into reading then. Number 13, what is your favorite classic book? I really love Wuthering Heights. I know that's one of the most hated classic books, but once you get through the first half, it gets pretty amazing. And I'm trying to think. I like The Bell Jar. I don't know if that's considered a classic, but I mean, it's a little bit older. Dante's Inferno. I love that poem. I talked about that in one of my other videos. And I'm probably forgetting some, but those are the 3 main ones that come to mind. Bellator only comes to mind because I'm looking at it, because it's on my bookshelf. My other classics aren't here. Number 14, in school was your best subject language arts / English? I think it was, for the most part. I took the kind of advanced track with my English classes. Like, I took the road that ends at AP English. I don't know if that really makes sense, but in my school there was the like basic like lit and lang classes, and then there was the classes that lead to honors British literature and then AP English. And you know, not like tooting my own horn, I hate that expression, but I'm not trying to do that or anything. But yeah, I took all of the advanced English classes, and I did really well in them, because I just have interest in that, and I'm an English major now, so you know, the fun never ends. Number 15, if you were given a book as a present that you had read before and hated, what would you do? Okay, well, obviously I'm not going to like throw it back at the person and be like, wow, you suck at gift giving, but yeah, I mean, I would obviously act like I loved it and I've never read it before. Number 16, what is a lesser known series that you know of that is similar to Harry Potter or the Hunger Games? I'm just looking at the books on my bookshelf. I have a really limited selection at this apartment, but The Forest of Hands and Teeth is a really good... I haven't read the other two books, but I really love this book. Like, I am not a huge... I have this like love-hate relationship with like YA paranormal romance, and this book is really, really good. Like, Carrie Ryan is a really talented writer. But I mean, I think that's a pretty well-known, at least among the like online community, a pretty well-known book. There's the His Dark Materials series, again, that's pretty well-known after the movie came out. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. What is a bad habit you always do while filming? I have not been filming. I mean, obviously this is only my fourth video that I'm putting on this channel. I've done other videos, obviously, just not on this like book-related channel, but looking out this window, because there's, as of late, my habit is looking out this window and just watching people go by, because I'm thinking, and looking outside at other things happening helps me think. So that's probably why only about half the time I'm actually looking at you guys, because I'm, you know, just creeping on other students walking to class or something of the sort. Number 18, what is your favorite word? Probably cacophonous. Like, my voice is very cacophonous, at least to me. I'm anxiously awaiting the day where I can film an entire video without having to change the memory card out, but it always ends up dying on me. Always ends up filling up on me. Number 19, are you a nerd, dork, or dweeb, or all of the above? Maybe I'm just ignorant in not knowing that these had different connotations, but I'm just going to go with nerd, because dweeb does not sound very good, and dork doesn't sound very nice either, so I'm just going to go with nerd. Vampires or fairies, and why? Probably vampires. I haven't read that many fairy... I've read The Iron Queen. The Iron Queen? Is that the first one in this series? Maybe The Iron King. Maybe that's not even it at all, but it's the Julie Kagawa series. I've read the first one in that series, and I thought it was really interesting. I also read Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr. But I just think vampires, even though they have been horrendously overdone, I still find them interesting. And now my camera decided to die, so I'm just not having good luck with this. So I'm going to finish this up really quickly. And I think I was on shapeshift, and I still can't say shapeshifters or angels, and why. And probably angels, because I never was really into the shapeshifter thing, at least in YA, And Angels hasn't been too overdone yet. And then number 22 is Spirits or Werewolves, and probably Spirits. I've always found that interesting. I don't think I believe in it, but I find it pretty interesting. Definitely more than werewolves, because shapeshifters and werewolves are kind of, well, almost the same thing. Zombies or vampires? Probably zombies. I haven't really seen anything done with zombies yet. I still do like vampires, but I think vampires, I think zombies is kind of interesting because you can get into like necromancy and stuff like that. The Anita Blake series, I talked about that in one of my other videos. Kind of, I'm pointing to it because it's on my bookshelf. It's probably, you probably wonder why I'm just pointing to things. Number 24 is Love Triangle or Forbidden Love. Probably Love Triangle, because you can't really go wrong with that. And I still think, I mean, it's a pretty cliched plot device, but I still think it's pretty effective. And then number 25, full-on romance books or action-packed with a few love scenes mixed in. And again, I do have a love-hate relationship with paranormal romance, but definitely action-packed with a few love scenes mixed in. I think with the right author, it can be done really effectively, just mixing the two together. The Four Words of Hands and Teeth, again, I keep coming back to that because it's sitting right next to me, has a lot of that, the action and the romance. I'm trying to think of other YA series, but again, not a lot is on this bookshelf. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. My 25 questions after having a full memory card and a dying camera, and hopefully it doesn't die on me again. I'm trying to see through the reflection of the window if it has died yet or not, but yes, I think that is it. If you watch this and you want to do it, feel free. The questions will be below, and I will see you guys next time.